Morning. Look who's back.
Morning. Yay. Nelly.
Nelly is back. Welcome to Monday. It's going to be a grey, dull start this morning, and then we're going to see showers. Now, what's going to happen this morning is the rain will kick in there around, well, it's kind of in places already, but around 10 or 11 o'clock it'll die out, and it'll start to dry up again, and then about 5 o'clock it'll piss rain again.
No.
So yeah, it's a bit of a wet one for today, but still quite mild out there, not particularly cold. Highest temperature today again around 18 or 19 degrees.
Some of the big stories that we're waking up to in the papers this morning. Let's start with the Irish Examiner today. Stricter rules on blocking traveller housing is a headline on the front page. Anti-discrimination and use it or lose it developer rules considered, says the Irish Examiner this morning. Also in the front page of today's paper, cervical check glitch allegations refuted. The Department of Health has denied officials knew the IT glitch cervical check scandal affected a significant number of women weeks earlier than it claims, according to today's Irish Examiner. And Gardaí close to completing Deirdre Jacob murder probe, says the paper as well, with a photograph of the woman who went missing 21 years ago in Newbridge on the front page of today's Irish Examiner. Detectives believe 2 people hold the key now to Gardaí finalising their file to the DPP on the abduction and the murder of Deirdre Jacob more than 20 years ago. She was around the same age as me, I think, roughly. So I remember that very, very well. And how terrifying it was at the time. It was around a time, of course, when a few women in Ireland went missing like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the story in the front page of today's Examiner.
The Independent then leads with fair deal crisis as elderly live longer than the HSE expects. A waiting list jumps by 16% in just 3 weeks. Taxpayer bailout is likely amid funding fears, and we're a victim of our own success, says Minister. That's on the front page of the Irish Independent this morning. Along with this, I was bawling and I was in shock. Hide-and-seek creche worker who quit after a day claimed the children were packed into a creche like cattle. As a former childcare worker says, she ran crying out of the hide-and-seek creche in Dublin after just a few hours, and this was back in October 2016. That's on the front page of the Irish Independent this morning.
Irish Sun front page, mum's nappy surprise. This is a story about a mum in Dublin who thought she was having back pain. Well, she was having back pain, but she didn't know what was causing it, and went into hospital, and a few minutes later gave birth to a baby.
What?
Yeah.
She didn't know she was pregnant?
No, she didn't know she was pregnant.
Oh,
wow. She just thought she had really bad back pain, headed off to hospital. It was pretty excruciating pain. A few minutes later, she has her little baby, and mum and baby pictured on the front page of the Irish Sun. All seems to be going well, so that's lovely news. And Love Island, Curtis, a fake. The Irish Sun today has a shock poll for, it says, I love this, shock poll for Armora, and that's on the front page of the Irish Sun. And we're off. It's the start of the Galway races, of course, this week as well, and they've got top tips on every race inside the Sun today. And tip, hooray, boo. Tip beat Wexford yesterday, 128 to 320. It finished up in the hurling.
The Irish Daily Mail this morning says hospitals treat 1,100 cases of children on alcohol and drugs, which is quite a shocking thing to think. Almost 300 under 10s were treated, and illnesses included liver disease because of alcohol. Robbie Keane, I'm not sure what the context is behind this, but it says Robbie Keane gives outspoken interview. I will not answer these stupid questions, is a quote from Robbie Keane. Now, he is the new Middlesbrough assistant manager, so it may be something to do with that, I'm not sure. And Slimming World's all-time favourite dishes, and the picture that's on the front page of the Irish Daily Mail is the greasiest looking, dirty, filthy burger I have ever seen.
Frylight.
Whatever. Is that what it is?
I know, that's the stuff you spray.
Stuff, yeah. So that's inside the Mail this morning. Their all-time favourite dishes from Slimming World. That's in the Mail there this morning.
Have you ever played Fortnite?
I chanced it once.
Tried it. I'm the same. I tried it. I was terrible at it.
I was awful at it as well. Yeah.
So, particularly if you've kids or teenagers, you'll know what Fortnite is, or maybe you're into it yourself. But the Fortnite World Cup is happening at the moment, and it's happening in Flushing Meadows in the US. And Flushing Meadows, I think, is where the US Open tennis happens. Yeah. That's what it's more famous for. But a 16-year-old Kyle Giersdorf, he won the Fortnite World Cup, and he won $3 million for winning. So if your kids spend about 8 hours every day in the summer holidays playing Fortnite, good for them. They could be providing for your future. Yeah,
there's a headline from a young fella in Britain. I think he's only about 15, and he came in the top 10. I think he won something like was he runner up? He won £1 million actually, which means he probably was.
Nice.
Anyway, the first thing he said in an interview when he was interviewed by the people who were broadcasting it was, "Yeah, no, Mom, no, who's wasting their time in their bedroom? gets back at mom. There was an Irish young fella came 58th and I think got 50 grand.
Nice, all right.
Yeah, which is not bad
Cool.
at all. But tried it once or twice. Was brutal at it, and
We're
didn't
giving
really get
fuel
it.
now. We're giving ammunition to every kid who's trying to tell their parents that they're not wasting their time. So you can just imagine it. I heard it, read it in the paper, heard it on the radio today.
They said it.
So yeah, they said it. They did. Love Island is the final tonight?
Finals tonight, yeah.
Okay.
So there's 4 couples in the final. You've Greg and Amber, Maura and Curtis, Tammy and Molly May, and Ovi and India.
Okay, so 2 Maura and Greg.
2 Irish,
both there.
both
Okay.
in there, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
a bit of crack, yeah.
What could they win? 50 grand, is
50
it?
grand, yeah. So
Each?
25 each.
Oh, 25 each.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, pittance.
On Twitter this morning, a lot of people are talking about that Fortnite World Cup. They're talking about Love Island, and they're also talking about the thrilling hurling matches we saw over the weekend as well, with Kilkenny beating Limerick and Tip beating Wexford as well. So a lot of people chatting about that on Twitter as well this morning.
Now, we're going to finish up shortly because we're going to go live. We're back on the radio at 7 o'clock, 7 to 9. But there's another headline which we might come back to in the radio this morning that says, when it comes to winding down after a tough day at work, especially a stressful day, playing Tetris helps switch your mind off. I know you like Tetris.
I love Tetris.
Yeah,
Just
so-
had a conversation about Tetris over the weekend with one of my friends, yeah.
So if you play it, it'll help you switch off and just forget what's going on in your life.
Lovely. Do you know the way you used to play Scrabble in bed and we got over that addiction? But I actually feel I'm not as quick, or I need something else. So I bought a
brain
crossword
trainer.
book.
Yeah?
Yeah, now look, it'd probably be cooler if I was doing it on my phone or something, but I bought a little old school book.
I think that's nice.
And,
You can't
yeah.
beat filling in the little blocks.
So
like.
I'm trying to do like a couple every day or whenever I'm,
That's a good idea.
chilling out, not just to turn the TV on straight away. Okay, we're live in a few minutes here on Radio Kerry, guys. Tune in for that busy show, lots of good music, and we've got cash to give away in Who's for
Yes,
Breakfast.
we do, 150 quid. So that's going up in just 15 seconds time.
Okay.
Enjoy. Have a
Talk
good
to you
day.
later.
Good
Bye-bye.
luck. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck.